Hello everyone out there, and welcome to another episode of You Can Cook That. Tonight we are going to make a cheesecake, a New York style cheesecake. It's one of my friend's absolute favorites, and he requests it for his birthday every year, along with many of my friends. So I think you might want to grab pen and paper, since this is the recipe that it seems everyone has been waiting for. There's lots to do and little time to do it in, so let's get started. You're going to need 1 cup of graham cracker crumbs, which I've already ground it up for us. You're going to need 3 tablespoons of butter, 3 tablespoons of flour, 1 tablespoon of vanilla, a cup and 3 tablespoons of sugar, 3 eggs, 8 ounces of sour cream, some cinnamon, and in here I have 5 cream cheese in here. Already taken out the package, and it's softened to room temperature and ready to go. So what we need to do before we can start on the mixture is we have to make our crust. To make our crust, slide that over, get a little room. You're going to need a springform pan. Where the bottom comes out, it's where you take the latch, open it up when you're done, holds the pan together. You want to take your crumbs, your graham cracker crumbs, put it in there. Take your 3 tablespoons of melted butter. Put that on there. And we're going to make our crust. So we're going to do this a little bit. And this takes a moment. Okay. Now we put this, add our 3 tablespoons of sugar to that. Give it another good stir. Get it all mixed in together. Before we press it in, you want to take some cinnamon and just sprinkle a little bit of cinnamon. Use your own judgment on how much cinnamon to use. Some people use a tablespoon, some people use a teaspoon. You can also put a little bit of nutmeg in here. That works really well with this type of crust. So we're going to give that a good stir. And then we're going to press it down into our pan to form our crust. Okay, now that we have our crust formed in the bottom, make sure it's good and patted down there. You want to kind of make sure it's as even as possible. Nobody wants to have a lopsided cheesecake. Okay, and now what we're going to do is we're going to put this in the oven for 10 minutes at 350. So you want to bake this 350 for 10 minutes. Don't do it any longer because you don't want to burn your crumbs, okay? Okay, now while our crust is in the oven, we're going to start on our cream cheese mixture. It's best if you have a stand mixer. It works best. What you want to do is you want to get this cream cheese all down into the pan, our pot here. Kind of get the sides. Okay. Clean off your beater a little bit. A lot of people don't make cheesecake because they're intimidated that they're going to mess it up. To be honest with you, you really can't mess up a cheesecake. On the contrary, cheesecake is actually one of the easiest things I think to make. And one of the most delicious. Okay, so we've got that in there. Now what we're going to do is add 1 cup of sugar. Three tablespoons of flour. A tablespoon of vanilla. Eggs are going to go in one at a time, but first what we have to do is make sure that everything in here is mixed very well. And you may have to stop and just take your cream cheese off of your paddle a little bit. And make sure you kind of scrape the side of your bowl so that all your cream cheese mixture gets mixed in. Okay, I'm going to turn that back on. Let that get nice and smooth and creamy, and then we're going to add our eggs one at a time, which I've already pre-cracked and put in our little dish here to make it easier. Okay, let's add in our first egg. cheesecake. Okay. And our next egg. Whoa, almost put the other egg in. Okay, and we're going to add in our last egg. Put that in there. Let that mix. Turn that up just a notch. Right now I've got it on a level 4 on a stand mixer. Looking pretty good. Basically we want to get it till it's really smooth and creamy, which wouldn't be too much longer. And then we're going to add our last ingredient, which is 1 8-ounce container of sour cream. But you don't want to use that with the mixer. Okay. Then what you want to do is you want to put your sour cream, whole 8 ounces of sour cream in here, and you want to stir this in with your spatula. You want to make sure you don't mix that in, but that you stir that in. Make sure you scrape the sides. Alright, that looks good and mixed. What you guys think? Nice good sour cream. Alright, and then what we're going to do is we're going to pull our pan out of the oven with our graham cracker crumbs in the bottom, and then we're going to pour our cheesecake mixture on top, and I'll meet you back here in just a second. Okay, now we've taken our graham cracker crust out of the oven. We're going to fill it with our cheesecake mixture. You just want to pour it in there. Be careful because your pan is hot, so you don't want to touch it with your hands. You don't want to burn yourself. Make sure your hands are clean too when you do this, because you're going to have to use your hands a little bit. Spread your cheesecake around in there and get it off your spatula. Want to make sure it's good and smooth there. You don't want to have... There we go. Okay. I think that's about as smooth as I can get it for right now. Okay. Now what we're going to do is I have a pan of water here. It's not hot or anything. Hold on one second. Slide this over here. Okay, here's the thing. The reason why most people's cheesecakes crack or come out dry is because they don't give them a water bath. Yep, a water bath. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this pan and we're going to put it inside the water pan, that is, and then we're going to put it in the oven and bake it at 350 degrees for an hour and 10 minutes. Now it's very important that once you put this in here for an hour and 10 minutes, that after the 10 minutes is over, you turn your oven off and then you crack your oven door like this. You want to crack your oven door. Don't take your cheesecake out. Wait about an additional 10-15 minutes, then pull the cheesecake out of your oven and let it cool. Okay, which I will explain that after we're all said and done. So let's get it in our water bath. Remember, our pan is hot from the oven, so we want to grab it, and you want to put it in the dead center, just like that. He's all ready to go in the oven for an hour and 10 minutes, and whenever she's all done and baked, I'll meet you right back here and show you what to do. Okay, our cheesecake is out of the oven and cooling on the counter, and then we'll take it off of the springform pan and we'll be set to go. Okay, our cheesecake is out of the oven and all ready to go for us to take the springform pan off of the cheesecake. So to do that, now that it's cooled, we've taken it out of the water bath, we put it on a towel so that any excess water or anything that was on here from the water bath could drain. As you can see, our cheesecake is very smooth on the top, no cracks in the surface. And we're going to do this. I've taken a knife and went around the edges just to loosen it. And pull that off. Got a little bit on the inside. And voila! There's your cheesecake. Right there, ready for your friends to enjoy. So, the next time you want to make a cheesecake, It's real easy. You can do this. You don't have to buy one or order one. You can make it right at home using your springform pan and the simple steps that I showed you how to do, and you'll have picture perfect cheesecake just about every single time, not to mention the delicious factor. Now, you can use any kind of crust that you want. You don't have to always use the traditional graham. You can take some cookies, like chocolate with cream-filled cookies, put them inside of your food processor, grind them up to make your crust, to make a chocolate crust. You can swirl your cheesecake whenever you had your batter with like some strawberry jam to make a strawberry swirl cheesecake. Or once this is completely cooled, you can cover it with some chocolate ganache and it'll harden a little bit. It'll be a perfect chocolate cover to your cheesecake. There's a million variations that you could do, not to mention strawberries, cherries, raspberries, all the delicious stuff. This one's for a birthday in particular tomorrow, and he likes his cheesecake plain, so we're going to leave it just as it is. So just remember, you've been cooking with me, Tracy Lynn, on You Can Cook That, and remember, you too can bake a cheesecake.